It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MWO. And this is our AEW Double or Nothing review show where we're going to talk about some of our hits and misses from that night. There's going to be a lot of hits. I'm assuming people are loving this event. Some have even called it the greatest pay-per-view of all time. Ryan, don't you just hate when people ruin good things?
Yes. Listen, Double or Nothing was fantastic show from top to bottom. It was, I'll even say it's AEW's best pay-per-view of 2026.
Correct.
I'll say that. But we got to stop with the recency bias. It's not the greatest pay-per-view of all time. I don't even think it's AEW's greatest pay-per-view of all time. And we got to stop. You know, this pay-per-view reminded me a lot of the AEW that we all fell in love with in 2019 and 2020 with the camera angles, the crowd, the match flow, the stories, just everything like that. So shout out to them. But this was not the greatest pay-per-view of all time. And I know all the big creators are out there spouting that. And I love AEW. I defend AEW more so than a lot of people, but this was not the greatest pay-per-view of all time. We got to stop that.
The last pay-per-view we went to together was better than this one.
Yeah.
So if you remember that one.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah, we were on the floor, homie. Yeah, that was one of the best ones. But anyway, we're going to break this thing down. Not all of them, but we're going to break down the good and the bad, or just the good. We'll see. Go ahead. Hit that music, Ryan. Let's go.
Here we go.
Just kidding.
Yeah, it's my first time. We haven't done this in a while. All right, here we go.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
Yeah, and a lot went on this card. We had 3 matches to discover Owen Hart, Cup finalists or so on moving forward with it. And I think every other match other than that was a title match except for the Stampede. But Ryan, I'm going to let you go first. What's something you truly want to talk about, good or bad, about Double or Nothing?
You know what? I'm going to start from the very, very, very beginning. And I'm not talking about Copeland Cage.
Here he goes.
I'm talking the pre-show with the Rizzler. I'm just kidding. I'm just not that. The Costco boys. No.
How come they're not on AEW at all ever? I never see them, but then they're always on the pay-per-views.
I don't understand.
I don't. Yeah. Am I missing when they're on Collision? I watch everything, and then all of a sudden they're just like on the pay-per-view, like, hey, it's us, the Costco guys.
I don't understand that at all. But no, I want to talk about the Mick Foley segment in the pre-show because I actually really enjoyed that. I thought that was unexpected. I think we were all kind of expecting like Renee Paquette and Mick Foley to go back and forth and Mick Foley to do the typical, I'm here in AEW and I'm happy to be here. And he kind of did that. But then MJF came out and he cut a promo ripping him, Mick Foley to shreds. And then Mick Foley went back at him. And then, Darby Allin, and then Mick Foley kicked him, or MJF kicked Mick Foley in the ding-ding. And then Darby Allin came out to check on him. It was just, this reminded me of Sunday Night Heat right before pay-per-views. It was just one of those moments where you watch it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually really good. It made me want to tune in for the show. It made me think, okay, Mick Foley's going to get involved in the main event. He's either going to cost MJF the title or he's going to do something to screw MJF out of the title. And we're going to have a bald MJF. But I really, really like how they did that introduction of Mick Foley with MJF and Darby Allin getting involved in the pre-show. It really set up the rest of the night to be a strong night.
Mick Foley is a fantastic ad because he knows what he's talking about. Number one, he's good on the mic. He knows how to deliver. He's smart. And he was a great general manager. We talked about that and how we thought that's what he should do in AEW. He's gonna wrestle again, just so you know. I know we were against that in our last show, but he's going to. Supposedly a little while back, him and MJF had already talked about wrestling, and now they're here again, and that's why they did all this, because they had already in the past, I don't know how long ago it was, that they went back and forth about how they would want to Mick Foley could wrestle again, he would want MJF, and here we are, right? It's just,
I don't want that.
It's gonna pain me because I hate when people do this. This is like Aaron Rodgers, and everybody's talking about now, like, do we even remember Aaron Rodgers anymore? And how is he going to be remembered? Because if he has another crappy year with the Steelers and retires, is that just who he is now, right? That's some people just go too long and we forget their memories, right? BJ Penn and MMA is one of them. Dude was the greatest ever, and he just continued to fight, never stopped, and now I'll remember him as the guy who constantly got knocked out. It's just sad, and I don't want Mick Foley to do that. But with that said, Mick Foley is a great add in AEW. The only problem is, just like the AEW hardcore fans who pretend like this is the greatest pay-per-view ever, Mick Foley needs to stop. Don't tell me AEW is why you're falling back in love again.
Yeah,
that wrestling. Don't tell me all this. I hate the fake shit. No, Mick Foley, you wanted to be more in the spotlight. You wanted more time to do things. WWE wasn't offering you that, so you went to AEW. You got paid more money, and now you get to do what you want. It's that simple. You know, Brian Daniels admitted that. Edge admitted that when he left. Like, I wanted more. They didn't want to give it to me, so I left, and now I get to do what I want. That's simple. We don't.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
No, it's like when CM Punk went to AEW. Oh, FWW. This is where I finally found my love for pro wrestling again. Now where is he? Like, we don't have to suck the teat. We can just say what is actually happening. But other than that, I am loving Mick Foley. I thought he did great. Him and Renee Paquette are gonna do great. I liked Renee Paquette when she announced at WWE. I don't know why they got rid of her so quick, but I just think they're both really good on the mic. I'm all for this, and I'm excited to see it continuing to happen. So yeah, good start. Good start.
It was just it was a really good start to a solid show, and I think it was the unexpectedness that I really liked. We didn't expect that on a pre-show. Normally you get a couple of matches and you go right into the show. Sometimes they're even wrestling in the middle
into the pay-per-view.
And this time they made time for this segment. I thought it was really, really well done.
I agree with you. All right. I'm going to talk about the match I was waiting for forever. It did not disappoint. I'm not joking. Takeshita and Okada. I knew this match would be a chef's kiss. Boy, was it. Takeshita defeated Okada. I was not correct with it. I had the wrong person getting turned on, but Takeshita beat him pretty much clean, put Okada down, won the belt, and then it looked like they were going to turn on Takeshita. Out comes Kyle Fletcher, which was a cool moment, although I always hate the whole, like, Kyle Fletcher's back. He's been gone for what? Like, I hate when people take 2 weeks off at all. Like when CM Punk comes back, it's going to be CM Punk is
He's
back.
going to get a vignette. Yeah.
100%. It's like, guys, like, just because you leave for a few weeks to take a vacation and heal up doesn't mean you're back. But nonetheless, Kyle Fletcher comes back. He's all buddy-buddy with Takeshita, saves him, and then he lays him out. And Okada hands Fletcher the belt. I'm glad Takeshita's out, but I was really, really hoping Okada would be out. But the match didn't disappoint. I'm glad Takeshita won. The right person won. And now we get to move forward with it and see where we go after this. Obviously, we're going to get now Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, I'm assuming, in a feud, which is printing money as well. But Don Callis' family's too big. They need to start getting rid of people here. It's holding them back. I don't care what anybody says. I think it does.
Yeah, and I thought this match was really good. I thought it was fun from beginning to end, and I liked the shout out to what they did with Kyle Fletcher, having him come out and hug Takeshita, celebrate with Takeshita, and then turn on Takeshita. One of the knocks on AEW is they don't tell stories, and this pay-per-view they told stories throughout the entirety of the show. Now we have a potential Kyle Fletcher Takeshita feud. There's a story in the main event that we can get to whenever we talk about. They're telling stories in AEW, so that narrative is long gone.
Yeah, and that's key too, because AEW has to be more than just good matches, right? It has to have stories, and like you said, I like it too because Takeshita was the obvious choice of being turned on. That's what they were getting at, hinting at, building up to. So I thought they were going to try to swerve us, and they did, and it still works. Sometimes the obvious works when you're building it properly, and they did that here. So the match was great, A+, and everything afterwards was great too. So I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it a lot. All right. What you got next, homie?
I'm going to go with the opener. Adam Copeland, Christian Cage versus FTR. in the tag team I Quit match for the tag team championships. I went into this match thinking, like, how are they going to do a tag team I Quit match? And what kind of crazy spots are these going to do? And I was worried about every time Cope or Cage took a nasty bump. I was like, oh, these guys, they're too old to be doing this. But I really enjoyed this match. I thought they did everything right. They didn't overdo certain things. They, they ended it with Spike, and Beth Phoenix got involved, and there was the table stuff, and they did all that stuff, but it wasn't overly done. That's AEW's biggest problem, is sometimes they'll do stuff that is too much, or they'll do something like staple guns to the head, and then that's all everyone's talking about for the next week, and people are questioning, like, why are they doing this? Is this even professional wrestling? They didn't do that in this match. This match was very entertaining from start to finish. The right team won. The crowd was lit for Cope and Cage becoming the new tag team champions. They were lit for Cope when he came out and they sang his theme song. It was just, I enjoyed it, and shout out to FTR for a good tag team title reign. And again, AEW, they told stories. This is a story that's been brewing now for feels like forever now, six months or so, and they ended it the right way. And I'm excited to see Cope and Cage in the tag division as tag team champions.
And we called that from day one, right? That was the whole reason why Edge came over and became Cope.
Oh yeah,
for this reason. I loved it, and these guys all can go, and FTR had a phenomenal reign. They have pretty much stamped themselves as one of the best tag teams of this day and age, right? This modern era with the Usos and New Day and so on. You got to put them in there, Young Bucks, if you want to. But FTR are them. Once again, I hate the pro wrestling community, because every time somebody loses a belt in an organization, they're all of a sudden going to the other organization. I don't know if you heard it, but now WWE has their eyes set on FTR. FTR is going to come back. Like, what are we like? Just people are so stupid. It hurts my brain. And it's always fake sites, and people are like, this site said it. And I'm like, that's not even a real site. You guys stop listening to everything you read. Like, they're not going anywhere. FTR has done nothing but thrive since they left WWE. Why would they? There's no point to go back.
No.
The tag team division is dying. But nonetheless, I was hoping Cope and Cage were going to be the own selves. I have not watched Dynamite yet. As we record this, Dynamite has aired, but I did see a quick Instagram that showed that they were doing the flash photography. So I'm glad they're doing everything I said I wanted them to do. I'm excited to watch Dynamite.
Just wait. Yeah.
Oh, this match was solid. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to whatever we're doing next for both these teams. So yeah, and they're not too old, man. I hope they have a long reign. People are like, give them a couple months, they're too old. Heck no. They pass all in. I want these guys to have a year run and let them go out their way. I think they deserve it. So
yeah, absolutely. And I don't understand those stories of like FTR is going to WWE. Like, and because just a week ago, FTR or WWE wants to rebuild the tag division. It's like you just fired the Motor City Machine Guns and the Wyatt Six, and now Logan Paul's hurt, and it's like, what? Oh, but you want to bring Enzo and Cass back, and now you want to bring FTR back? Oh, yeah, we're gonna rebuild the tag division. Whatever, dude. Like, stop.
People are so dumb. Cass is still signed to AEW.
Yeah,
it's just so dumb.
It's like when people are like, John Moxley's the masked man helping out Seth Rollins. Like, no, he's not. Stop with that.
Oh my gosh, so dumb. I'm already hearing things of too that MJF's gonna go to WWE. I'm like, can we just stop? All right. Well, speaking of MJF, let's just get into it. World title match. MJF defeated Darby Allin, as should have happened. I saw a lot of fans a little butthurt and upset by it. Oh, he didn't have a good enough reign. Darby Allin's reign wasn't a charity case. It was a thank you to Darby Allin. It was you put everything into this company. You deserve a shot. We're going to give you this shot. What do you want to do with it? And he got to do it his way. And he got to do it for a little over a month. And it was awesome. Now we can move on, right? Darby's not going to get a second reign. He's not going to. It is what it is. We knew MJF wasn't going to cut his hair. I like the tombstone off the top. I like that he still put him in the stupid headlock, turnaround, finishing move to add the insult to injury. I dug it all. 24 minutes, it was good. Good timing. I mean, like you mentioned before we got on here, the whole no blood thing, I was digging that supposedly they weren't allowed to. Maybe they should always be allowed to, because when you just focus on the work instead of the purposely bleeding in every single match, it makes for a great pay-per-view, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
It's like when AEW started doing storytelling and everyone's like, I love AEW. It's the best they've ever been. Weird when you don't just put on random fucking shows and matches and you tell a story, you're invested in it. That's how wrestling works. But nonetheless, MJF's victorious. And afterwards, Darby's getting stretchered out because I guess he can get by a bus. He can get lit on fire.
Climb Mount Everest.
He buried alive. He can climb Mount Everest, but damn it, a tombstone from the top rope will put him out. And he was in a stretcher, and MJF's going to put in work. And out comes your new favorite wrestler to make the save. And it looks like he's going to be his hero. And Mr. Jet himself decides to do a move on him that looks completely weak, but nonetheless, neither here nor there. He lays him out. The crowd is in awe. Yes, I saw all the AEW, my favorites on TikTok, jizzing in their pants. I didn't like it, and here's why. Before you crap on me, I get that they're really invested in Homeboy. I get it. I get that they like him. He's not ready. He just got a secondary title, and you just had MJF become the 3-time champion by avenging a loss that he got his ass whooped in to win the championship, and it's overshadowed by this guy taking out Darby Allin. It just didn't sit well. I don't know. This is next night on Dynamite for me. This on Wednesday night this isn't closed to pay-per-view. It should have closed with MJF. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's a big enough star yet. I know AEW doesn't care. Everyone's saying this is a money-making career move. I don't think it is either, because we've seen better and people did nothing with it. But maybe I'm wrong. You let me know. But I thought it was meh. But the match itself was fantastic, and it was a great way to close a fantastic pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree, but I also don't disagree at the same time. Like, I think you brought up good points. I think he's not ready. It did kind of come out of the blue, but AEW, we asked them to try something different. We asked them to tell stories. They ended this pay-per-view with a cliffhanger. You know, why did Kevin Knight do it? Why did he turn on Darby Allin? And, you know, the cool thing that I like about this too is Kevin Knight cut a promo on the Go Home show of Dynamite when he told Darby Allin, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let the fans down. We kind of laughed it off as like a pep talk, like, oh, he's just giving him a little pep talk, going into his biggest match of his career. We didn't really think anything of it. Well, now it turns out it was foreshadowing. So, you know, I give AEW some credit for, you know, the story. It made the Go Home show feel a little bit more important after the fact, which I kind of appreciate. And yeah, but MJF and Darby Allin, the match was fantastic. You know, I know there was the no blood rule. But Darby Allin did bleed the hard way.
Yeah.
He took that unnecessary spot in the match. But I think that made the match better. That made the match more fun.
When it's real, it makes it better. Yeah.
Yeah, when it's real. Not and it was on something like that. Not like a staple gun to the head or a spiked bat to the back, or, you know, a syringe in the lip. Like that's all stupid stuff. This was done the right way. Everything about this match was great. MJF, like, we got to give this man his flowers. This guy is the best thing in AEW at the moment. Everyone's talking about Kenny Omega winning the title off of him, and then we get Kenny Omega versus Ospreay at All In. Everyone's talking about Ospreay winning the title at All In off of MJF. Maybe. I want MJF to hold the title for the rest of the year. This guy is the best thing that's ever happened to AEW. He loves AEW. Listen to his interview on Ariel Helwani. I feel like he is being pretty real. Some of the stuff he was saying was like, okay.
Mick Foley did a little bit, yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I feel like he knows how to do it. He knows how to get you to like him and then make you despise him at the same time. And he is a great ambassador for AEW. He's somebody I would rather listen to an interview with him than listen to an interview with Kyle Fletcher or an interview with Darby Allin, you know, because you never know what you're going to get with MJF. And I think MJF is the face of the organization, and he deserves to have a long, lengthy championship run.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And he deserves. The thing with the Ariel interview that I didn't like is that I think he thinks he's bigger than what he is. And I know that's his character, but he was doing that interview very much not in character. I think that was him.
Yeah.
I heard he's a really nice guy in real life, so maybe it wasn't. But nonetheless, just the way he was speaking, where he was putting himself up there, like he's better than most of WWE, like Romans. Oh, he's great, but he's not me. Oh, and then like MJF, like I don't want to pee off our fans here, but if you haven't been in WWE, you're not the best ever. It's just how it works. I used to have this argument back in the days when there was Pride and the UFC, and everyone in Pride was the best ever. Okay, well, they eventually went to the UFC. What happened? They all got their asses kicked. It's just how it works. So the big show is WWE. Whether you think it's good or not, that's where the people want to go. People want to be in WrestleMania. People, if he never goes to WWE, will he be considered an all-time great? What about Sting? Where do people have Sting? Top 20 maybe. Meh. And he still went to WWE. So I mean, I'm just saying he would have been there longer if it wasn't a train wreck. I'm just saying that we got to pump the brakes on how cocky he is and how I love MJF. You know that. I think I wear a scarf when I go to events. I think he is the best AEW superstar of all time. Him and Mox, pick or choose, right? I think they're the two biggest stars of all time. He ain't that dude, though. Let's not put him with Roman. I'm not putting him with Seth Rollins, bro. We got to stop. We got to slow it down. Let him cook. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I liked it. And the best part about the ending, I said I didn't like it. I'm excited to see the Jet whoop Speedball's ass because I can't stand Speedball. When you are as big as the Karate Kid and you fight like him in a wrestling ring, I'm not for you. So Jet, please whoop his ass because I cannot take him anymore. And I know it's happening. I just know it's going to because he didn't turn on Darby to not turn on Peep Squeak. So hopefully that's nice. But nonetheless, it was a fantastic pay-per-view. So you have anything else to say before we end this review show?
We'll go through a couple of misses for the night for me. One of the misses that for me, I'm going to be honest, Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley. I know we talked about how Jon Moxley is one of the aces of AEW, and I'm not taking anything away from him, but this match did not need to be on the pay-per-view. It did not. Nope. I understand why. Like, I understand you got to have Jon Moxley on a card. Not really. Cody Rhodes didn't wrestle at Backlash. CM Punk's not wrestling since WrestleMania. We don't need to have everybody on the card at the especially with there's nothing really going for him. The other thing I didn't like about this match was Jim Ross. Jim Ross on commentary was atrocious. And I like Jim Ross. And apparently he did an announcement where he said that he's being tested for early onset dementia and stuff. So shout out to him and prayers up for him because I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. That's awful. But why did AEW send him out there to do commentary? And he constantly kept messing up. He said he didn't know who Kyle O'Reilly was. He said, Jon Moxley almost had a near fall. And he was like, oh, we almost had a new champion there when Jon Moxley is the new champion or the current champion. So it was he just kept messing it up and it kind of took me out of the match a little bit. So I don't want to dog on Jim Ross because I know he's battling through something that, I don't wish upon anyone, but I don't think AEW should have put him in that position by sending him out there.
I mean, he hasn't been good in a long time. I've been saying when we started this podcast a few years ago, we were talking sometimes
you can tell he doesn't watch between time off.
No. And if he's battling with dementians, I mean, obviously he's not really thinking clearly either. It's like what we said about Mick Foley trying to come back. Sometimes you want your memory to be what it was, right? And people will say Jim's the greatest of all time, and I wouldn't disagree. I don't think he's the greatest of all time. I think he's top 3 easily, but you know what I mean? To each its own. I wouldn't disagree with you if you thought it, but he needs we need to be done with it, and he needs to be the backstage type of guy if he wants to help out. But I thought this match, once again, we talked about this before we started. What was the difference between this match and a match they had on Collision and Dynamite before? It was the same match. I've seen these two. It's the only difference is Moxley tapped them out this time. It was rinse and repeat, dude. I don't need to see it. I like that negative. I actually, that was the main, I think, 1-2. The Owen Cups were fine. I like Will and Swerve getting the win. Athena. I didn't think the Athena match was that great. I thought that was another Collision style match. But I thought Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland had good matches against Joe and Bandito, and I liked them. Swerve had that one move where he got thrown up and stood up on his shoulders or whatever, and then did a fallback kick. That was a pretty cool move. But there's 2 good matches, 2 good starts off to the Owen Cup. So I did enjoy those.
Yeah.
We all know Will Ospreay's going to win, though, so let's just move on from it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's really predictable with the card and everything. But no, one other thing that I kind of sort of did enjoy was the Stadium Stampede match. I thought the match was, I would give it, if we were doing our rating system, I would give it a fringe thumbs up, mainly because of no blood. So it was, and again, they didn't have the stupid spots of screwdrivers and, the stupid weapons and stuff. I mean, you got a little campy there towards the end with Mark Davis. The bad part was the bus part with Mark Davis.
Oh my
God. Tony Schiavone. Mark Davis was back there. I think he got hit by the bus. Mark Davis, I think he's dead. And Taz is like, there's Mark Davis right there. And it's like,
he didn't even,
I mean, it was just really like, that kind of stuff got a little campy. The Leo Rush, Bobby Lashley stuff, some of the backstage stuff was a little strange, but I think this was probably, of all the Stadium Stampede matches I've seen, this was probably my favorite. And again, it's because I could tell what was going on. I could tell who was who. People weren't drenched in unnecessary puddles of blood, doing stupid moves, and they weren't fighting in the crowd. They kept the majority of it in the ring. They went backstage for a little bit, but they came back into the ring. Apparently you couldn't fight in the crowd either. That was another rule that the New York State Athletic Commission had. So I think that made it a little bit more enjoyable. So, and it looked like, I think the big thing for me is it looked like everybody, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Ricochet, Jack Perry, Bobby Lashley, it looked like everybody was having a lot of fun out there. And I you could tell they were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if I would have given it a thumbs up just because I can't stand these matches. I know it was better placed. They did a better job. It didn't seem all over. It didn't seem as choreographed, which was nice. It seemed like they were just kind of going with the flow, right? So I did enjoy it in that aspect, but it's hard for me to enjoy this. There's just too many people out there. I can't I got to focus, man. I want a match.
Yeah.
That's why I like Roman Reigns matches, right? He just has that match. It's good storytelling. Will Ospreay's starting to get like that now. He had a really, really good match. You know what I mean? Against Samoa Joe. He's getting there. I like it. I like those type of matches. So it's hard for me to watch these. I know they're fun, but it's just too frantic for me sometimes. But I agree with you. It's better than what I thought. So yeah.
Yeah. I had low expectations and I think they exceeded them. So
yep. And Jericho finally got his comeuppance. So
yeah,
was able to get the lion tamer and put him through, and good stuff. All right, well, there it is. That is our Double or Nothing review show. Let us know in the comments if you missed anything, or you like something else, or you didn't like something else, or tell us how wrong we are, because this isn't recency bias. It is the greatest pay-per-view of all time, damn it. It makes WrestleMania 17 eat a shoe, bro. That's what I'm saying. WrestleMania 17 holds nothing on this. Double or Nothing. But anyway, as always, thank you for tuning in and subscribing, liking us, listening to us. Continue to push us out there. And if you want to just check me out, I'm at my_wrestling_opinion. Still trying to get my TikTok and my Instagram blowing up just like I am this podcast. So help a brother out. And as always, with me is
Ryan. Enjoys wrestling on all the social media platforms. So go follow me anywhere you get your socials, and then go listen to us here on YouTube at Two Dudes with Attitudes. You can subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on X at Two Dudes PC. When we go live for watch-alongs and episodes, and we go live from pretty frequently. We're on Twitch at 2dudes_with-attitudes. We're gonna get our Instagram up and going. It's 2 Dudes with Attitudes podcast, and on TikTok, 2 Dudes with Attitudes. So go follow us on all the social media platforms. And then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, we are in the top 10% of all listening to wrestling podcasts. We want to get into that top 5%, the top 1%, and the way to do that is by listening, subscribing, rating, 5-star reviewing, and telling everyone about your favorite two dudes on the internet. Every little bit helps. We appreciate all the love and support. And we top guys. We out.
We out. 2 dudes. Let's go.
2 dudes with attitudes. Let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking. So let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton. They here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast. Start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on.